mission for today is to get this thing running. And the first step is to build a gas tank. And I think I'm gonna put the gas tank up under the bow here with a cap somewhere in the middle. Design a gas tank, make it out of pieces of another gas tank. They'll be CAD. Conveniently, because I cannot get myself up into there to figure out the layout inside the boat, I can just use the outside as a template for the pieces of the gas tank that will fit inside there. Making a tiny cardboard boat!
A decent amount of volume, it looks like.
Oh yeah, there'll be plenty of volume. I made my miniature little boat of cardboard here that fits very nicely up into the front of the hull. I realized that for it to have a filler neck that goes through here, which is really the only option, to be able to like slide it in there and get it up, it would be kind of a pain and very difficult to make it look good. So I was considering other options and I realized that was a waste of time. I can just make a bulkhead across the front of the bow here that just goes down to the bottom and up, you know, just fills in that whole space. And it is gonna be really tricky to weld it in underneath there, but if I do that, then all I need is one plate welded all the way around, and then the whole front is the gas tank. Getting pretty close. Nice. I ran out of TIG rod. Pro tip, the aluminum that I'm welding that I cut off a little sliver, that just happened to be like that, works great. So finish it up with that, and if it's not enough, I'll cut some more slivers. Well, now that all the super frustrating TIG welding is done, now this whole thing's a gas tank. It just needs a couple things, like a gas cap for getting the gas in. Time to turn this big old hunk of solid stock into a threaded bung. Onward to the spinny.
Making some light duty springs.
Yeah, light duty aluminum springs. They're, oh no, we're making a slinky. Man, that thing's pulling chomps today. Look at that. Deburr it a little bit. I should really just order an actual deburring tool. That's think about it every time I do this, and then I forget. I did not measure either of these things before I made this the diameter that it is. That is exactly the size of a, what is that, 2-inch hole saw? Yeah, 2-inch. I thought about it as I was doing it. I was like, I wonder if I should try to make this the same size as a hole saw. And then I was like, whatever. I got a die grinder. I can just make it the right size. But look at that. It's exactly the right size. And I left a little lip here so it'll sit down into the hole, but not fall through. Bjorn, really? Every time I talk today, you start making noise? Really? Aha. Success. This is one of my super thick curly cues off of the lathe. I'm gonna see if I can use it as welding rod because I did not go to town last night and forgot to have anyone pick up welding rod. Totally works. It's a little dirty, obviously, from being turned off the lathe, but you know, in a pinch. Now that the gas tank is finished, I just need to make some little bungs for the outlet, for the pickup for the fuel pump, which will be right at the bottom here, obviously. And then make another one for the return line. So, seeing as how this is just like a little teeny half-inch diameter piece of aluminum, it was kind of like bent on the end there. So I spun it and watched for like the high point, and I just went whack, hit it once, and it's perfect. That was a lucky whack right there. Very nice looking little bung. If you look really closely, you'll notice they're not exactly the same. Well, that's because I eyeballed every part of it. I didn't measure anything. So, you know, not bad considering. These are gonna be real fun to weld all up under there, which I should have done while it was upside down. Be all the welding for the gas tank, which means I can stop being frustrated with it and start being excited about it because it looks really cool. And we'll get a rough estimate for how much water it holds. And then draining it all out is going to take a while because unlike all the other gas tanks we've done, can't exactly just pick this one up and flip it over easily. So, yes, spill it all. Might as well go ahead and see how many gallons it holds. I already found the leak, and conveniently it's in one of the easier spots to weld, so.
Is that gallon number 3?
Yep, that's 3 gallons. Well, that's gallon number 4. 4 3/4 gallons or so. That's really not bad. There we go. Like siphoning gasoline, except you don't have to worry about getting it in your mouth. Because it's just water with, you know, small bits of aluminum in it. Aluminum. And that's why I put that bung in a spot that was extremely hard to weld, because now this fuel line tucks right up into this little rail. A couple of zip ties. Now we have a complete fuel system. And it looks like I have pretty much everything here. This whole bundle went to the trim control because it used to be electric. And if that system was still like functioning, I would have used it, but the trim control box was like all rusted and the motor was seized. We'll just delete that. Pretty soon here, we'll do a little test start. And this is why I started messing with the wiring, because look at all of that weight reduction. That is the entire wiring harness just for the trim control. Weight reduction. I know what's wrong with it. Ain't got no gas gauge in it. You fill it up when you start and you go till you're empty. That's how that works, right? I've been sorting through this box of parts for this thing. Look at all that weight reduction right there. Premium. So obviously this is temporary, but I'm just screwing the throttle from the jet ski right onto the steering wheel here. Man, turned it around a little bit, and that's like almost premium enough to be permanent. Not really, it's not even close to that good, but it'll super work for a few test runs. So I decided to go ahead and mount this box because I'm certain of where it's gonna go now. See if it fits. Yeah, I think that's 3 of them done. I'm actually probably just gonna leave it at 3 because that seems plenty sturdy and I don't have to deal with trying to fit a 4th one in there. For real though, you could probably pick up the boat from that point. Got the electronics box mounted, and then I was getting ready to mount the oil can, and I realized this tray that I thought was for the battery is actually for the oil container. I think I can mount it something like there. And there are so many welding grinder sparks embedded in that lens.
Oh yeah, this one's pretty bad.
Really change our name to Grindhard Recycling Co. In the scrap pile was this piece of gas tank from when I made the Barbie Campers gas tank, and I made it wrong and had to change it. And it's gonna be pretty much perfect for what I wanted here, so Grindhard Recycling Co. for the win. Nice. Finally, we got our new exhaust pipe, so we can go from this ginormous hunk of cast aluminum that takes up a ton of space to this stainless steel. We have new manifold, new whatever the heck this part's called, and new expansion pipe. And it'll sit something like this in here so that it's down low and off to the side. So it'll still come through the firewall here and be in the compartment where you sit, but it'll be way off to the side where it won't be a problem and it won't be in the way. It's a performance pipe, so in theory, power gains and weight reduction at the same time. My 2 favorite things. Stock manifold and expansion chamber weighs 24 pounds. Look at that. So, and this one is 12. So, exactly half the weight, but more importantly, that's 12 pounds of weight reduction. That's massive! Like, actually massive for this light of a thing. Will's replacing the rearmost differential in the Ranger because we tried to take it to the 4th of July parade, and the rear diff exploded.
And caught on fire.
And caught on fire.
And then the other one lost its drain plug. So
yes.
It also almost caught on fire.
So the moral of the story is, with random used parts that you don't know the history of, make sure your bolts are tight.
First time filling up the Ranger at a gas station for real? This came out on the highway, something fierce. Yeah, so now the rear diff is making a lot of noise and smoking, but we got 2 other diffs, it's fine. So as we feared, the diff got much worse, and with the heat and the oil going everywhere, it actually lit on fire on the highway. But that's why I came driving behind Ethan, just in case something like this happened.
If only I brought a crescent wrench.
You all right in there, Will?
You good?
Yeah. They put these bolts in such a swindly location.
Got ourselves a stud. Let's see if it's long enough. It's a little on the short side, but hey, yeah, that's plenty. Plenty-o threads for what we're doing here. Well, now that I've wasted a bunch of time sort of polishing these, I decided it's not worth going any farther, but hey, they're shinier.
Are you having fun in there, Will?
Yeah, I'm a little stuck, but I'm having fun.
Oh, these clamps that came with this don't fit. I had to shorten this a little bit and now I have to weld it back together. This is the layout that I want it to be in. It tucks away nicely to this corner. I will have to change the location of this port because that is facing straight down. Back here, I'm gonna need to change the angle of this flange. So you can see that it points, you know, when I have the exhaust laid out the way I want it to, the flange points not the right direction. And another option would be to order up a piece of silicone that would have a slight bend in it there, but then the exhaust would kind of do this weird little snaky move. So it'll be better off if I just cut the flange most of the way through and then bend it until it's the right angle, and then I'll just cut a little piece of pie cut and, you know, put it back in there and weld it together. My little pie cut done, and I'm just tacking it in, getting it all arranged, and then we'll be in business. And then I have to figure out the muffler. So this is the original muffler, which I have learned is called a water box in a jet ski, because this little port here sprays water into the exhaust, and it goes through here with a mixture of exhaust and water, hence water box, I guess. So this is the exhaust pipe off of that BMW convertible that we pillaged. I'm gonna just chop it up and see what all this looks like, because one of these is a catalytic converter and one of them's a muffler of sorts, or a resonator, and they're stainless steel, so I might as well see what they are, and if one of them might work in the jet ski, that'd be cool, because it's about the right diameter of pipe, and yeah, might as well have a look. You! Definitely some muffling going on there.
Oh yeah.
I hooked up the battery from the Barbie camper, borrowed that for a minute, and I want to see if all the wiring's hooked up enough for it to crank. And then, in theory, this is the start button. there. I'd say if it had gas, it'd probably run. That'd be a negative on the. Oh, ha! This wire was unplugged.
Oh, ha!
I'm confident that that was our problem. So let's see.
Wow!
Well, that thing runs good.
Yeah,
It started right up.
I mean, granted, it had a lot of cranking without spark to get the fuel all
Yeah,
up in
right.
there. Fired right up.
Sounds pretty good, too.
Ah! Muffler, right? Now, I'm gonna yell into the boat. Ah! It's about twice as loud as me just yelling in empty space.
Oh, man.
This is literally like a speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once it's got all of its stuff in there, we can put some like sound deadening on the
Yeah.
sides and. Well, it'll also
Wow.
have foaming in
floaty
places
stuff.
for floating. I probably shouldn't tell you guys this, but like technically, we could go set this in the pond and test drive it at the like right now. It'd be deafening and it'd be dumping water into itself. So I guess what we'd have to do is run this out here, and then technically we could test drive it. We
Oh
won't.
my gosh, I can't
We might as well
wait.
muffle it.
Yeah, it needs mufflers, but
This is gonna be so much faster than the drill motor.
it's gonna be faster idling.
It does do a lot of muffling.
Yeah. For a little straight through muffler.
We're gonna use every piece of that BMW.
Yup.